Guys, I just recorded this entire video, and my mic was muted through the entire thing, so that's horrible. But I'm gonna record it again because, you know, that you can't stop me. You know, you feel me? You can't stop this fire from happening. Alright, so today is story time with Nadavv, episode 1. A lot of crap happens in my life that, you know, is weird, and so, you know, I'm just gonna make a story series out of it because I feel like that's the best thing to do. And Trey was like, you need to do this, and so I started thinking about it, and it's a pretty sick idea. So, in this story, we're gonna kick it back old school to the good times. To the times where you got to sleep in school, you know, you got to take naps in school because you would get grumpy if you didn't. I wish I could go back to those times like now, because like taking a nap in school, I remember I was so butthurt about it. I was like, nah, dude, this is BS. I'm not taking a nap in school. What are you talking about, dude? We're supposed to be chilling, you know, we're supposed to be coloring and stuff. It's kindergarten, we're chilling, having a great time, you know, hitting those chicks up with them notes, you know, saying we love them and stuff like that. You know it, you know it. My best friend was named Grayson, alright? Grayson was pretty sick, dude. At least I remember now that, you know, he was probably not pretty sick. Everyone wanted to be friends with Grayson. You know who got to be his friend? Me, boy. Yeah, me. Because I was just the class clown, you know, I'd hit them with those jokes. So all the girls loved me. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. All these girls just enjoyed my company. And, you know, I wouldn't say my company because I never actually talked to them, you know, just send notes back and forth through Grayson or whatever, you know, I love you. So like that, you know, the usual kindergarten relationships. And this is the first girl that actually, like, talked to me, like, in person, when we were, like, boyfriend and girlfriend or whatever you want to call it. This kid, dude, he got me in so much trouble. Grayson got me in so much trouble today. Like, this day was just, like, the worst kindergarten day. He went up to her, hey, do you like Trent? She was like, yeah, I like Trent. Of course I like Trent, dude. Heck yeah. And I'm gonna let you know, this chick's name was Abella. I'll let you know this right now, dude. Dang, back in kindergarten, everyone wanted Abella, dude. Everyone usually got her because, you know, she would date pretty much anyone. But they weren't very long relationships. And so, you know, you wanted a real one with Abella because she was smoking. I'm sitting here, you know, chilling. Once he comes up to me, he's like, yo, Abella wants you, man. For real, bruh? Ask her out for me. Yo, put in the good word. And he decided to tell me, you know, she likes you because you're funny. I got in trouble, like, a pretty good amount, and my parents were already, like, pissed to be enough, because, like, the day, like, right before this, I got in trouble. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, either this or, like, in the same week, we'll say that. First day, I gotta start it off with a good note, you know, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it right, because Abella, smoking hot, man, I'll tell you that. So, I'm gonna let you know, I didn't have a Bella for very long, you know how it's, so, he was like, you need to start this off on a good note, you know, make her laugh, you know, put in a prank for her or whatever, and I was like, what should we do? And so, we come up with this master plan in the 5 minutes, before we had to do reading time or whatever. This kid, dude, I don't know why he decided to I don't know why we decided to come up with this plan, but it was the master plan, you know. We had the same hair. Or we had the same, not hair, but we had the same color hair, you know. It was pretty much identical. And so what I decided to do, and I thought it was obvious, you know, I decided to cut off a piece of my hair and say that I cut her hair. I don't know why. I feel I was super dumb and I looked like an idiot for the rest of the freaking year. Just because my hair grew back at, like, different rates, and my parents, like, punished me for doing that, and so they wouldn't, like, give me a new haircut. So I just had to, like, let it kind of, yeah, alright, and so I cut my hair off, and I'm like, hey, I cut your hair. And I was like, I laughed, like, a little bit, I was like, like, oh my god, this is genius. She's like, what? And I'll tell you, dude, she flipped out, dude, she started screaming. She screamed at the top of her lungs. She literally started, like, pounding on me. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. You know, kindergarten girls pounding on you. Like, I was kindergarten too, and, you know, I was pretty tender. It was kind of whatever. Alright, and so she starts pounding on me for cutting her hair off, and I'm freaking out. It's not your hair. You know, this was not going according to plan. And she starts pounding on me, man. She starts just pounding on me. Grayson's sitting in the corner just laughing, dude. And I'll tell you, this is kind of embarrassing, but she literally hit me, like, right in the neck. And, like, you know, you've probably had this before, like, if you're getting hurt or something, sometimes you, like, get the breath knocked out of you and you can't breathe or whatever. And so, that's what happened. She hit me in the neck, and I couldn't breathe for, like, 10 seconds. And that was the scariest thing, you know, like, when you just can't breathe. And then it all came back to me after I started, like, bawling my eyes out, you know, because I was scared. And, you know, everything was going through my mind, you know. It was a hard time at that point. And so, you know, I'm chilling. Can't breathe. You know, I'm crying my eyes out. I'm flipping out. She's flipping out too. She don't stop. You know, I can't breathe, and she's still banging on me with her fist, dude. And so, finally, the teacher splits us up or something. I don't know what. Like, she split us up, and then she went to, like, the office or whatever. And, like, at this point, I was like, oh, crap, dude, I'm gonna get in trouble, whatever. But then I was like, I really probably won't, just because, you know, I cut my hair off and not hers. I don't even know. Oh, my God. And so I bring the teacher over, and so I got in buttload of trouble. She was like, go to the office. And I was like, oh, my God, what are you talking about? So I started bawling my eyes out, you know, back in kindergarten. Go to the office, you know. I can't get in trouble, dude. I already got in trouble, like, this week. You know, I can't get in trouble again. I'm not trying to get my Game Boy taken away. Not trying to not let me watch Pokemon and stuff during the weekend. Well, my mom comes picks me up early. And my mom never is really one to give the discipline. You know, she kind of backs off a little bit and lets my dad come in. Because my dad was scary, dude. When my dad was mad, oh, you know, you're not getting around that. Especially when he's mad at you, like, for doing something that you know that, you know, isn't what you probably should have been doing or whatever. And so, you know, I'm going home and I'm like, I didn't know. She was like, shut up. I was like, dang, dude. and so I'm like, I'm freaking out. You know, I don't deserve this. This is not fair. I'm freaking out. I'm screaming at my mom, you know. And then out of my mouth. Apparently, I kind of knew what was going on a little bit, you know, in my head, I guess. I don't know. I screamed the F word. I'm, F you! At my mom. And what'd you say to me? And she freaking turns around. Because I'm sitting in the back seat. You know, it's kindergarten. What do you expect? I'm turning the back seat, and she's like, what are you doing? And immediately at that point, I knew I screwed up. You know. He's like, alright, come here. And he puts me on his knee or whatever like that. And I knew what's about to go down. And I kick him. Dude, no lie, I straight kick him. Like, I kick him in the head. I just lean back and boom! And I just kick him, dude. And I knew, dude, he was like, are you joking me? And I was able to sneak out. I was able to get out of the grip of his, of his grasp. And I ran, dude, like, no lie, I ran out of the house into the front yard. And I didn't know where to go, honestly, so I kind of just, like, stood there, like, freaking out, you know, like, because I knew if I went back inside, it's gonna be done for, like, I'm gonna be done, dude. And so, I start, like, running, and I'm running around the front yard. My dad's chasing after me. My dad's kind of big, dude. At least he was at that point, before he started working out and stuff like that. But he couldn't catch me, you know, I'm juking him out, you know. And then, finally, he catches me. And he grabs me, he walks in, and he starts just pounding me. Not like with his fists, because that's abuse or whatever, but like spanking me or whatever. Oh, I just remember it was the worst time of my life, dude. But yeah, that's pretty much just going to be the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. If you did, you know, you should drop a like, because that'd be cool. That would actually really help me out a lot. And also, leave a comment saying, like, if you want more of these, what kind of series you want, if you don't want more of these, or whatever you want to do in that situation. But, yeah, just definitely drop a like. Subscribe to all the people in the description. because they put out some pretty sick content. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. It's Frosted Dav, and I'm out.